What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite sex worker discussion podcast. This is the Anora cast. As always, I'm your host, the horror with the Mora, E-Dub Rodriguez. Joined as always by Hans Mendoza.
Hey everyone. Hello. You were close. Very good.
Hans, did you fall down right when we started the
My
podcast?
my phone fell fell off immediately as he was about to introduce me, so I'm sure the sound there was fucked up. Sorry about
Hans
that.
turns into Mr. Magoo anytime I hit record on the Zoom call. I don't know if you've noticed this. He also decides to go and run chores whenever I'm introducing the show typically. So this is nothing new.
Takes a big bite of food right when you introduce him.
And the man who is known for never dropping the phone, Simeon Jimmy.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty clumsy too. I think me and Hans are he's like the tall version of me, you could say. And I'm about to be the bald version of me as well, so we're more alike than you might think.
Oh, nice.
But and last, certainly not least, a man who is known for knocking over a phone in a recent film. If you know, you know. Low Res Wonderbread.
So happy to be back. First crossover of 2025. And this will mark 3 years of crossovers with the Is It Kino podcast.
Oh my God, where did we begin?
Wait,
Pain and
what-
Game? Kino Corner? I don't remember. I think it
are we
was.
gonna do are we gonna do our own version of Dr. Evil, Jimmy? You and me when you're bald?
Oh, should I be mini me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
We should. Well, just give me maybe 5 more years because I feel like the bald spot's gonna grow by then.
I mean, it's not like my hair's coming back, so I have time.
Yeah.
You do have
How
a
are you gonna
vintage
do-
Hans cam going on tonight with just being a face in a dark room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it's probably for the best. But Hans, if you're doing a sequel to Mass State Lottery, do you have to grow your hair back, or are we gonna like do some hair patches on you, or what?
He's gonna send me to Turkey to get a hair transplant.
Now, you guys have not heard it yet, but Aggie and I and E Rich reviewed your movie, and as of the upload of this review, it came out last week, so you guys don't know what we said. Uh, my question is, since we spoil a lot of the movie, will it be accessible for the public by the time our review drops, like 8 days from now?
No, no, but that's okay. I think spoilers are just part and parcel of sending out your movie to people, people talking about it, people reviewing it. So I'm not really concerned about that. I don't think it'll take anything away from it. But we are trying to get some screenings lined up for January right now. Still in a touch and go situation for New York. I'm talking to a couple of places in Boston at the moment. I'd love to be able to screen this thing before the month is over, but it looks like Hans is going to be coming back to Massachusetts right at the end of the month and into early February. So we'll have something. We'll have something announced very soon.
I've been getting. I'll put it this way, Low Res. I feel very blessed and honored that you let us watch it early. You owe me nothing in this life. I don't deserve to see it early or for free. So, with that being said, I'm very gracious and all that, and very thankful. I think maybe I should speak for some of the fans, devil's advocate style, calling our fan Satan here, but I have been getting some comments saying, hey, what is Low Res thinking? He posted a director's commentary track of the movie before any of us can even watch it. He's like laughing in our faces.
Well, here's the situation with that. Now, on the last episode of movies that preceded this one, I did say, hey, if you want to sync it up when you're eventually watching the movie, but I got to be honest, that's not true. Because what happened was, Hans, not to call you out here, Hans was rather sleepy on that episode. And so there's a lot of these gaps and pauses where we're waiting for Hans to say something, me and Jerry, the guest, but we just kind of fell into watching the movie. And it's like, all right, so we have 20 seconds of silence here. We can't do that. I can't put the movie as the lower track. So I wound up cutting that out. So it's not a real commentary track, and there's not really anything spoilery on the episode. I did preface that in the description. That's my fault for saying it was because it was intended
Yeah.
to be. But no, it can't really be used as a commentary because you'll fall completely out of sync with that.
Yeah, everyone was sober too, I think, right? So that's not a real commentary track. You have to be a little drunk so that the truths start coming out. I had been up for 24 hours when we recorded this, so my energy level was like 5%. So I tried, but yeah, there was a lot of just like I ended up falling into, "Oh, I'm actually enjoying this. I'm just watching a movie. So yeah, that was my
I
bad.
thought you'd be sick of it by now, Hans. Haven't you seen it like 50 times?
I think the lack of sleep kind of just lulled me into
Mm.
just watching this instead of like trying to make fun of it, I guess. So a real commentary track will be coming out later when we're all in the same room and a little intoxicated, I'm sure. If that's requested, I guess, or needed or wanted.
During our review, and I hadn't heard your commentary or fake commentary track yet, so I did not have this confirmed. And I made a prediction in our review that a lot of Kenny Dorsley's that's his last name, right? The
Yeah.
MySpace. I predicted a lot of his dialogue was probably just off the riff because it very much sounds like the way he talks on the podcast. And E-Rich thought I was being racist. But
Well,
nope, turns out in your podcast you confirmed that was what happened, right?
that's exactly what happened. Here's the thing with Kenny is Kenny, it takes a lot to get him to memorize dialogue. The second scene was scripted. The first scene where he's introduced was not scripted. We just showed up with a prompt because I know Kenny, and Kenny's going to be naturally funnier when he's just going off the cuff and improvising because he's a very funny human being. And the second scene didn't require the second scene needed us to move the story along specifically. So I couldn't have that. And it took like 7 times the amount of time that the original scene took. So no, that's not a, well, I don't want to say it makes him sound racist now, but that's kind of the implication here. I think the tables have turned.
I think E-Rich is a classic liberal racist. He tries to be so anti-racist that it turns back around.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Eggy.
really not
Oh,
there's really nothing wrong with stereotypes. You know, they're real sometimes. Sometimes they're accurate. Sometimes they apply to some people. And I think,
it's called
Kenny,
pattern recognition.
yeah. So I
Eggy,
think
did you have any commentary
sorry,
about the
sorry,
movie that you
sorry,
wanted to
sorry,
make
sorry,
real
sorry,
quick?
sorry. Before we move on to, I don't know who this person is, that liberal
Oh,
person that you said.
E-Rich?
Yeah. But it's funny when someone is so anti-racist that they end up becoming racist by trying not to be, and instead calling out someone that has just more knowledge of who that person is. But there's no way, it's not possible that he could actually be that way. And he's like,
Well,
well, there you
Kenny's
go.
such an extreme cartoon character in real life. It kind of is hard to believe, really. Like you guys really have an interesting guest on your show.
A gem
But
from the
Eggy, before
series.
they actually hear our official review, do you have any teasing thoughts on Mass State Lottery for them? Since you did not post a letterboxed for Low Res to post all over Instagram.
Oh, that's right. The absolute suspense. Well, I could tie it into the film we'll be discussing today, as a matter of fact, because I kind of felt like some of the shots that were in Anora and the nightlife shots, kind of the lighting and the ambiance, uh, you know, even sometimes the sexual content, depending. But there was some parallels. I was like, oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of some shots in Mass State Lottery. But heavy on the aura, heavy on the ambiance. I mean, aura is the Zoomer version of that, but you dig what I'm saying? Uh, just, I mean, I don't know if there's too much I could say that's not going to spoil my opinion of the film, because, well, spoiler alert, I don't really have too many things detractor wise to say about it. I think everything I'm going to say about it is going to be like, oh, it looked incredible. It was paced in a way that was perfect for me. The writing, the acting, I mean, everything was just really no shortcomings in my opinion. So I guess I can't
Thank
really
you.
say too much else without spoiling that I
Well,
gave it 5 stars. Oh.
I've got one shortcoming. I got to ask the director and star's opinion. If I want to put this in my letterboxed top 10 of the year 2024, but the movie says 2022 and officially it's probably coming out 2025, don't I look like a big retard?
Well, it's complex, It's kind of, I went to go see Caligula, the ultimate cut. Now, Caligula was shot in what was it, 1977, but then they reassembled a brand new movie with footage nobody's ever seen before and different takes in 2023, but then the movie came out in 2024. This is a standard issue. I think, you're free to put it as the best movie of 2023, 2024, 2025, whatever you want to
Any
say.
year. Well, it is second place to the cat cartoon called Flow. So you're not quite to that standard, but otherwise,
I'll
best
take
real
it.
movie of the year. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess
I have a question for you.
What Loris is trying to say is that this is not the final cut, so the movie might change and it might be delayed
Oh.
another 5 years.
Oh, wow. Laura, as you said in the fake commentary, that parts of the movie were inspired by Our Hitler, a film from Germany, and I was
Yeah.
curious, like was it an editing style or what?
Vitali's Vault, when that comes up for the first time, the opening of that is similar to the opening of Our Hitler, a film from Germany, and then the use of Parsifal I took from that movie because it's just a very powerful orchestra piece, but it's also you can use it subtly, and I would say those two things. But also, Our Hitler does something that I did, and that other great movies from like the 1970s and 1980s previously did that they don't do anymore because everybody's very concerned with hyperrealism and making sure that issues that are applied after shooting are well hidden, are well disguised, which is embracing the artifice of a shot. So, with that movie and with another movie I actually just saw, we get a review for this show, Black Christmas. There will be some shots, at times where you might see a hand with a knife or something, and it's like, well, where are they? They're in a house, right? But the backdrop will just be a black backdrop. So somebody went to some stage one day in front of a black screen and just did, okay, well, here's a close up of a knife with a hand. There are certain shots like that that feel very stage play-y, that I was inspired by for certain inserts and what have you.
Like the cum
So
shot?
no, that's a little rich, I would say. That's a
That was the
very
first thing in the
yep.
script. You didn't need to get inspired for that one. I need to build a movie around me coming on this photo.
I think that probably that might have been the first time in the movie where I stood up and started applying and said, finally, this is going to be literally me. I'm not sure, might need a little more fleshed out yet, no pun intended, but I'm starting to get some literally me off of that. So,
Well,
although
as
I think that was
Rathke was,
actually that was following the montage of I'm not going to spoil too much, but the
well, I was
montage
about
of
to.
keeping up, so to speak. I think maybe that it all came together in a great climax, no pun intended, but that was really when I was locked in. Hashtag no Diddy. But yeah, go ahead,
I mean,
spoil some more.
is it really a spoiler to say there's a scene where Rathke teaches the audience how to internet stalk a woman, and Iggy said, "Oh, this is literally me." And I was like, hmm.
I'm just saying he had good game. I think that, I'm not putting anything on anybody, myself included, but this was as Walter White once said, somebody cooked here, you know what I'm saying? Just it is what it is.
And he also teaches us how to hunt down a serial killer. So maybe Lores has a secret life we don't know about. Because I imagine the other thing is true to his life as well.
What, stalking women? I would never.
Now,
But
speaking of women worth stalking, should we finally talk about Anora?
yes, I think that would be very apt. Anora, kind of like Hans's Devlin, is my favorite kind of Asian, which is Jewish.
Because she only yells rape when they take away her 4 carat diamond ring. Otherwise, she was, you know.
So, what do you guys make of Sean Baker as a director? Because I'm very hot and cold with him as a rule. Sometimes, his movie Takeout from 2002 or 2003, I think is a very interesting, very gritty, grounded movie. And then other films like The Florida Project, I've enjoyed them, but in retrospect, my opinion of them fades with time. Red Rocket, I thought was fun, but he's not really one of my favorites. I would say, even if he delivers quality.
I've never seen any of his other movies. Is he the guy who made the prostitute hooker movie with like an iPhone?
Yeah, Tangerine. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I haven't seen them. Does Honora compare to them negatively or positively? Like, should I even bother? Because it sounds like you're kind of down on them.
I wouldn't say I'm down on him. This movie is probably his most high production value film that I've seen. I think there's been increments that have kind of tumbleweeded with every single film. So if you go back to Tangerine, obviously he's doing a very down to earth, gritty look into trans prostitute life on Christmas
Oh
Eve.
wow.
Florida Project is about these project buildings right outside of Disney where some drug addicted mom is raising her kid. And he shoots that similarly, but with professional cameras. Red Rocket is maybe the first movie of his that feels like, okay, this guy had a budget, but he's using Simon Rex, who is this shamed. He was a not really a big actor, but he was a big TV actor and big teen movie actor in the late 90s and early aughts, and his career got derailed because they found out he did porn before then. So he brought him back, and now he's got a career thanks to Sean Baker. But this is the first movie where it feels like, okay, we're actually looking to make a movie and not cast a bunch of freaks. But there are plenty of
Interesting.
freaks in the movie.
Yeah, I think I've only seen Red Rocket, so that's the only other opinion I have on his work, and I liked it. It's fine. You know, I haven't seen it since I saw it that one time, and I don't see a reason why I would go back to it other than it was fun. You know, didn't really get much out of it
Yeah, I
besides.
mean, I thought it was one of the best movies of the year when it came out, but we're also looking at post-COVID movie theaters aren't putting out films as frequently. I haven't gone back to it since whenever it came out. I think it was 2022, but I had a very high opinion of it. I had a good time with that movie.
The main
Yeah,
criticism I've seen for Anora is that it's misogynistic at its core because of how it treats its main female character. So I'm wondering, does that appear at all in his other movies? Like, is there a through line, or are they kind of reaching?
Hmm. I don't know. That's
Like,
kind of
does he
tough to
treat the
say.
trans prostitutes with respect?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. It's kind of a Kenny situation, if you will, because these trans prostitutes were actual trans
Oh my
people
God.
from
yeah,
from Los
What?
Angeles.
He's just filming
yeah.
Yes.
people and said it's a movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Well, so
mean, pretty
he's like,
much.
so he's showing what they are, I guess. So I guess depending on what your sensibilities are, is what you get out of it. I think I saw some of that discourse on Twitter from a bunch of female accounts, I'm assuming, because they don't show their face, obviously. But it was a lot of just, well, she is a sex, what is it, a sex,
Sex
what's the
worker.
sex worker. She's a sex worker. So she, of course, has a lot of dreams, and she's the smartest person in the world, and she's
Yeah, yeah.
perfect, and she has no flaws, and everything she says is amazing. And it's like, well, if that's what you're trying to get from a movie, if that's the image that you have in your head about what an escort is, that you're never gonna get that unless you make it, or unless someone that has those, let's be real, left-leaning thoughts makes it. Because and I'm completely ignorant when it comes to that world. Like that shit makes me uncomfortable. I've been 2 strip clubs in my life, and that was the most uncomfortable I've ever been. Uh, Especially because the older ladies made me touch them, and I just wanted to fucking run.
What?
They molested
Yeah,
you?
yeah, it was bad. So we
They were
went to the
putting dollar
beach.
bills in Hans's belt.
So me and two of my friends went to the beach, and we found a place, and we were like, fuck it, let's go, this will be funny, right? And we walk in, and they say, well, you have to buy 2 beers to get in, so no cover, but you have to buy 2 beers. So we're like, okay, so we buy the beers, and we're sitting there, and we're looking around, and there's literally no one, there's no dancer that's younger than 40, 45. So it just felt like, like when you go, your mom has like a reunion with her friends or whatever. That's kind of what it felt like, but they were all dressed like escorts. And so we were all like, all right, well, I guess, well, this is not fun. This is sad. Let's just drink this quickly and go. And as I guess they saw that we were just like chugging the beer, and they came over and they were like, hey. And the three of us were just like, oh, fuck, like, how do we? And one of them sat on my lap, and I was like, oh, lady, like, ma'am. Like, I was like, ma'am, come on. And she grabbed my hand and like put her on her boobs, and I was like, ah,
Oh my
thanks.
God.
Yeah, and I was like,
You got
okay.
molested.
Yeah, and then she, I guess, realized that my autism will not go well with this interaction. And she was like, all right, and then just left. And we just chugged those beers and left. So my experience in strip clubs has been horrifying like that. So I don't know what sex workers are like, but I feel like whatever was portrayed here felt more real than whatever this lefty accounts on Twitter think reality is. Like I feel like OnlyFans have made them believe that every sex worker is just you're just taking a picture of your vagina and your asshole at
Mhm.
home, and it's like, well, no, if you're dancing there, that's kind of what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get, the privacy of your room to do that. Instead, it's just whoever shows up that has a little bit of money. That's it. Doesn't matter what your dreams are. It doesn't matter how brave and smart you are. Just rub your ass on me because that's what I'm here for, and that's what you
So
get from this movie.
could it be that Sean Baker is so dedicated to realism that it kind of defies what you would expect from a movie, especially from a lead character, a title character? You would expect them to have like an internal life and dreams, but this is so realistic. This is a 23-year-old whore. Her job is to go to a strip club. She has no other aspirations. She does not realize she's going to age out of this and then have no future career. Like, of course, she's will dedicate everything to trying to get the millionaire husband. And that's her only motivation the whole time.
But also think about this. How many 23-year-old women do you think have larger aspirations that, well, I have to work so I can go out in the weekend and party, right? So I think that's realistic. Like you're saying, it is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
realistic thing. Yeah. I just don't understand the point of view of, well, you have to give her a more interesting or more whatever backstory. It's like, why? Why does she have to be, king stripper or queen stripper? Sorry. Why does she have to be like the god of strippers? You know what I mean? Like the one that's smart and that's gonna make it and gonna leave this life. And it's like, well, maybe not every movie about a character like this will have a happy ending where she has a giant house and children.
Mhm.
But speaking of Queen Stripper the movie, I would if they had like West Side Story, but for strippers, like they all have like a bunch of poles in the street and they all have to like do the best dance. I would definitely check that. Hey, as the sole gentleman among us who has paid for the private room in the clubs before in my
Oh
life,
my God.
I could say, I mean, it is pretty, just going off of who was I there with? Oh yeah, I think.
Cousin Joey?
Well, no, it was for the Dick Masterson show. Kino.
uh,
It was the first time I met Kino Corner. First time I met Rusty. So that was the end of 2020.
Wait, did Kino get a
Uh,
private dance too?
I think I was the only one out of everybody.
Ah.
Um,
pussies.
Wow.
but I was back there with this nice lady, and it was kind of like, yes, she was doing everything you see in the movie. And yeah, she's telling me how she had a Twitch account and she was like trying
Oh
to be like
wow.
a Fortnite streamer or something, so she wouldn't have to be a stripper anymore. Because I was telling her about YouTube and everything. So we had a real like honest conversation while she was completely naked and gyrating all over my body. I was fully clothed by the way. So it wasn't some really whacked out business. It wasn't a $15,000 week like Anora was cashing out for. But
Do you know the
uh,
account name on Twitch?
I probably forgot it about 5 minutes after the fact.
Because I
I
know
don't know if
Hans
she.
is looking for that video of
The
100 guys in one day and he couldn't find it, so he needs something else to watch.
Yeah, Eggy got post nut clarity and forgot about the Twitch account. uh, oh fuck. Yeah,
But to
because
speak to her character,
no,
think about it. A stripper is literally a fake person. Their entire job is to pretend to be nice to people and be exactly what they want them to be. And we see her on the job all the time. We see maybe less than a minute of her home life because it's irrelevant. Her whole life is being a fake person. Like to her core. That's her career. That's her character. That's this movie. And that's what a lot of women on Twitter and Letterboxd, because a lot of what I've been seeing is on Letterboxd. I know women love Letterboxd. They just don't get it. They don't see
Mm.
the realism it hurt them to see. They expected this to be a movie about a fake type of character who has these aspirations. It's not what it is. This is Sean Baker's world. He's pointing the camera, much like Mass State Lottery. He films a real rat come out of that garbage can, okay? This is pointing it at the corrupt, disgusting world we live in, where the rich can do whatever they want and all of the world is just their playground and they can play with our lives because we're meaningless and nothing. That's what the movie's about. It's not
I think
about fucking an empowered woman.
people just have a hard time with any type of art that gives you baseline unlikable characters. And I wouldn't even consider Anora unlikable. She just has very financially motivated goals. And she doesn't even really know if she likes this kid or if it's purely the money and that big, bright future she's imagining speaking. At the very end, it kind of feels like maybe she did like him or maybe she tricked herself into liking him, which is her job, right? That's part of it. The best salesperson actually believes what they're saying. And I mean, really, what I want to get to though is Hans. Did you have a literally me moment watching this with the bald bodyguard?
Well, he's just standing awkward. He's the nice guy that just stands there awkwardly, trying to be ignored by everyone, not be noticed.
Yeah, this guy's you. This is
Yeah,
you.
kind
Everybody calls him a faggot all the time.
yeah, and he's just there like, because he knows he can kick everyone's ass. Yeah, that's right. That's me. I get
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
why he acts
That's
like
right.
that.
Secure,
Okay.
confident. That's right.
He gets the girl.
Yeah. Well,
Let's not bury the lead. I mean, he does get the girl, but is just kind of spoiled.
yeah, kind of.
She's
I
got
mean,
that
she,
whiplash because she sees Vanya's fortune like disappearing before her eyes. So she's preparing to launch onto the next penis, and all the millions are just dissipating from her mind. She just immediately has this whiplash. No, has to break down for a minute. Listen, we've all been there before.
I
what?
think it's pretty clear that she is still in love with the money because she wants nothing to do with Vanya until
Yeah.
he reveals, "Hey, I saved the ring for you. Here you go. Okay, now I'm gonna fuck you."
I was about
Immediately.
to ask because I don't remember that. Did she get anything from the Russians, or was it just the ring at the end?
Just the ring and ten thousand
Just the ring.
dollars.
10,000.
10,000. All right.
Which
Yeah.
it didn't feel, Paul Schrader had a criticism that knowing Anora's character and how she was able to get, I believe it was $15,000 just for the week, she doesn't try to finagle too much. We have one moment on the runway when they're about to fly off to Nevada to get this marriage annulled, and then she just kind of gives up. But at any moment, she could have greased the wheel. She could have done something to ensure that she was going to get a bit more money than $10,000. With her lifestyle, it'll probably run out within a month. So I don't know. I think my biggest problem with the movie was the ending. I like the actual ending of her and I believe the bodyguard's name is Igor.
Ivan.
We can call him Hans.
I think it was Igor because she makes the note of, oh no, Igor is
Is
Frankenstein,
it?
Dr. Frankenstein's henchman. He's a fucking hunchback creep, you know? I like that ending, but just the flatlining. Maybe for me, I'm just sick of these ambiguous endings with movies. I like either end it on a very low note, on a depressing note, or end it on a high. And this sort of, well, we're doing a little bit of both here. I don't know. And especially since the second half of the movie is like the real movie. The movie it's advertised as is them partying and having fun. It's the first 40 to 60 minutes of the film, but really the weight of it is them chasing Vanya around and trying to capture him so he'll divorce this girl. I didn't find that as fun, although I like the character dynamics between Anora and Igor, and then also that uh, vaguely Middle Eastern looking man that pops up in all of Sean Baker's movies, who is like the guy. He's the Wrangler, I guess.
I think that moment where she is being confronted by this billionaire Russian mother of Vanya, and she says, "Oh, I will crush you and destroy your whole life if you try to sue." I think
No. She says, I wrote it down because I was like, oh, wow, that's so scary. She says, do you have house? Do you have car? All gone, all gone. And she's like, oh my God. And that was it. That's how she
But
changed
I
her.
think that smash cut to Anora is sitting on the plane, and we realize, oh, she gave up. The whole rest of the movie could have been her fighting this family and getting justice or whatever. But no, she gives up. And I think that moment Lores has brought up is the moment that all these women online gave up on the movie. They were expecting this femme girl boss victory in the end, but no, it's so scarily realistic. Like these rich people can destroy you if you're
Mhm.
poor. You have no chance. Just give up and go along with it.
Well, she's
And
also
that's what we all
23.
do on a daily basis.
she's also 23, right? So she doesn't know what she's talking about when she goes, "Oh, I'll just get a lawyer or whatever," because she's just what she's heard, I guess. But that's not much of a
If they're legally
defense.
married, I think she could have put up a fight, but
Yeah,
she
but
gave
she's
up.
again, she's 23. She doesn't know. She just gets scared by someone that talks with a weird accent at her
Yeah.
and threatens her. That I like the first 45 minutes of the movie, which is the whole partying thing, but I do feel like that was stretched out maybe a little too much, especially because it's not like a lot of things happen in between that. So they meet at the strip club, and then he takes her home, and then they have sex. And then the next thing that happens is that he pays for her to stay with him for a week, and then they have a bunch of sex again. And then he takes her to Vegas, and then they have sex in Vegas. And then they come back home, and then the movie actually starts when he realizes that he's going to be in trouble. That happens on the minute 46, I think, of the movie. And it's at least for me, it felt way too long of them just doing the same thing to the point where by minute 46, I already kind of didn't care about the fact that she was going to get in trouble because I was just like, I'm done. Like seeing them, we get it. They party. Oh my God, isn't this wild? Oh my God, this is so crazy. Oh, we're in Vegas. We're drinking. Oh, it just felt like too much, and it felt like nothing was happening there that was moving the story forward other than what we knew from the start, which was, well, he likes her, so he's going to keep her around. And that kind of lost me there. When the other characters showed up, it kind of piqued my interest a little bit more, but I also felt like that there's something about his movies where I think he needs someone to tell him when to cut a scene because sometimes those scenes just go on for way too long. And it's like, okay, so, oh, she's slapping this guy and she's cursing. And the other guy's saying, oh, no, don't do that. And then she's slapping him. Oh, okay, she's still slapping him. Oh, he threw her around. Oh, well, she's still slapping. And like, we don't need to see 5 minutes of that. We understand what that is. And I think this movie, I had a big issue with that because I just feel like scenes just went on for too long, and there was no reason for the scene to be that long when we get what he's trying to do, you know?
Well, Hans, think about the juxtaposition of a 10-minute montage of nonstop partying, the most incredible massages and Vegas hijinks you can think of. And then right after that, 10 full minutes of an unbroken scene of her being like manhandled and screaming for help. Like we lived through 2 weeks of their lives in the same amount of time that now we're
Yeah.
living the real time. And you feel the stretch of how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that was not the best way of putting those things together or next to each other, but yeah, that kind of lost me or lost it for me. Especially with the end, how anticlimactic it felt. It's just like, oh, we got here 2 hours and then you're ending it with a I'm sad because I lost everything, even though I've been cocky for the past 30 minutes. It was kind of just all right.
I think I'm the exact inverse of what Low Res was saying. I think the opening 40-minute, the opening act is a horror movie, and I couldn't wait for it to end. I hated seeing these young, rich people having fun and celebrating when they're all horrible people. They have no internal life. He just wants to smoke his fucking dope and gamble and be with his prostitute.
Yeah.
I think the
A
movie
terrible
picks up
person.
when the heroes come in and set everybody straight, and then it becomes a true comedy. And I'm using the word hero very seriously here. I think that the fixer guys are the moral core of the movie. Like they understand reality for what it is. They're not trying to live a fantasy life that they don't deserve and that they haven't earned. They're just real chill dudes, and they're not actually villainous. Like they don't fucking rape Anora like she screams and claims. They're just man, they're pretty calm for guys doing their job.
Right. Well, we don't get that unless we go back and rewatch because the character of Vanya that we're introduced to is the same one that Anora is subjected to. And it kind of feels like I do think it's realistic with this type of guy that that is exactly what would happen. But in the movie, in the context of the movie, it feels like a character betrayal that he is just completely deflated of any sort of interest whatsoever. He doesn't even try and do like a push and pull. I want a little bit of this and also we still have to do that, but I'm going to maybe drag this to the finish line. He doesn't do that. He just kind of decides, okay, I'm done liking Anora now. Let me go get a lap dance from her arch enemy at the same strip club.
And that's
Okay.
her getting a taste of her own medicine. That's her entire life is I'm a fake person and pretend to be what you want me to be. And now she's the stripper who thought the billionaire actually liked her when
Mhm.
it's usually the inverse. So I'm glad she got that taste of her own medicine. Really, like this will mature her. And I think this movie, maybe she doesn't go back to the strip club. Like this movie is about a 23-year-old finding a real path in life.
Well, maybe that's why there's so many complaints about it, right? Because it kind of shatters the idea that sex work is this wonderful thing that gives you independence and that anyone can do, when reality is a lot sadder than that. And it's like the
Well, I'll also
realization
give
of
this
that.
movie credit for not making anybody who attended the strip club seem especially creepy or weird. They just kind of seem like normal
Mm,
middle-aged guys who were going. Was there one?
there is when she's talking outside with her friend, she says, "Yeah, he said I look just like his daughter, and then he paid me for 5 dances." And she's like,
Okay.
"Oh, well, at least he paid for the dances. Like that's all they fucking care about. I'm doing an incest fantasy for this creepy old man. At least I'm getting paid."
Well, he was supporting sex workers, okay, Jimmy? So he was a good guy in that night.
Sure, yeah.
I'll tell you from back in the day when you got like the railroad crews in town or whatever working on the railroad and the strip club has beers half off or whatever, you'll never see a more discouraging thing that my eyes have laid upon. I saw about, like probably 30 overweight, middle-aged Hispanic men in high vis crammed around like one 19-year-old high school dropout girl
Oh,
that was sagging, just like flopping around on the ground and all like grunting and it smelled like I can't even quite put it into words. But all you would have cerveza, cerveza and a bunch of like single-dollar bills just kind of flying around as this woman was gyrating very floppishly in a poorly lit establishment.
Did you see any
Uh,
C-section scars by any chance?
the lighting wasn't that good. So
Okay.
yeah,
how about cutting scars, like on her thighs or wrist?
they're a little more reflective, I think, but you kind of the light has to hit them the right way. So I could. This was a few years ago, so it's hard to say, but
As a slight change of pace, I've been hearing rumors that this movie was the front runner for Best Picture, mostly because 2024 had no good releases other than maybe The Brutalist. I have not seen that one yet. But last night, Golden Globes, it did not win a single award. So is it all a big hullabaloo, low res?
I think so. I think, and they don't like Sean Baker. They tend not to like people who bring authentic street grit to the Academy Awards. And back in 2009 or 2008, they reluctantly nominated Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler, which I've talked about at length in the past, but this is the most clear and present example of this sort of thing, where they kind of made an exception of like, all right, this guy who he's made a complete mess of his face and his body and his life, and he's wearing these like silk gowns and carrying chihuahuas around. He's a fucking Frankenstein monster. We would never typically invite him to the Academy Awards in his current state, but he's been nominated for Best Actor and winning Best Actor for this movie, The Wrestler, at every other ceremony. And then they pulled the rug out from beneath him. They gave it to fucking Sean Penn for Milk, which is a
Yeah.
forgettable movie nobody's ever watched since. And the performance was mid. So they'll do that sort of thing. But when it comes to a Sean Baker type, typically he won't, there won't even be an invitation. This might be a little bit different. They might actually give Mikey Madsen a Best Actress nomination. I don't think that would be out of the realm of possibility, especially since they're very aware of the fact that audience for the younger demographics at home are down, which is why we had like an everything everywhere all at once sweep a couple of years ago. They thought, oh, maybe this will bring in Reddit. Maybe Reddit will tune into the Oscars. And I guess they did. But I wouldn't expect this movie to be nominated for anything serious at the upcoming Academy Awards.
Who do you think are the front runners for Best Picture, if not this one? Because I can't think of really anything.
It seems like The Brutalist has it in the bag from everything that we've seen to this point. I haven't seen that movie yet. I will get around to seeing it, but it's like, damn, I really got to clear a whole day to watch that
Yeah, is
fucking
that
movie.
4 hours long?
It's almost 4 hours long, and there's an intermission midway through.
I did
So
see there's a cam rip, but I can't sit through a 4 hour cam rip. Why
I
is the
yeah
movie
no,
not
I,
on
I
digital
started
yet?
watching 20 minutes of it, and I was like, feels ridiculous to be watching this
Can
movie as a cam.
can Brady Corbett just fuck off? Can every director that has these ideas just fuck off? Everyone has busy lives. We don't need fucking 4 hours in the theater to watch your shit. Stop fucking jerking off and get an editor, you piece of shit. I'm sorry. I'm sure the movie's great. I just don't want to sit in the theater for 4 fucking hours. God damn.
Well,
You
I
wouldn't
want to
watch
say
the
on the
Nostalgia Critic movies in the theater?
No, that's different. That's the seventh art or whatever that fucking thing is called. Yeah, that's
just to
different.
touch on awards real quick, because I knew that I'd heard that Mikey Madsen had been nominated for the Golden Globe for Best Actress nomination. What I hadn't heard was that Hans, as the Best Supporting Actor, aka otherwise known as Yura Borisov, and he was GQ Russia's Actor of the Year in 2024, and he won the Golden Eagle Award from the National Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences of Russia. So, you know what? Definitely was an impactful character in this movie and in Mass State Lottery. The hits just keep coming. Nomination earned.
Yeah, is he big enough that you guys wouldn't be able to get him in your next movie? Maybe you like he could be Hans's like twin brother. That'd be good.
Is this SAG? I don't know. Can we afford SAG?
He's probably SAG, yeah.
What do you mean? We're just gonna shave your head, Mumkey, and then you can be my twin. Oh, we can do twins too. We can do
Yeah,
twins.
like Danny
There you
DeVito.
go.
Yeah.
I think that Emilia Perez trans movie is probably gonna win a bunch of shit just
That's a
because
trans movie?
Yeah, it's a trans
I thought it was
musical.
Selena Gomez.
So
No, it's about it. Do you know what the movie's about?
I was going to say a friend of mine watched it recently because Neon or some big company put it out, and it's about a member of the cartel who becomes trans, and it's a musical.
Yeah, so to get away, they become trans so that they can get, I think move to the States safe or no, back to Mexico safe, something. I saw a trailer in front of Nosferatu yesterday. And then Selena Gomez, I think, is the main actor that we recognize, or whoever
She
the main
plays a
character
trans?
recognizes. No, 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 no. The trans person is not revealed in the trailer until like the last 10 seconds. So the whole time that they're talking about who this person
It's
is and what they're
Harper?
doing, they show like the back of their head and that's it. To not show, I guess to not spoil how horrific they would look, but they don't actually look that horrific. Like I mean, they just
Oh,
kind
so
of
it's
look like
not Harper from Will and Harper. If
no,
you
no, no, no.
don't look
It
her
kind
up.
of no, it
Will
just kind
got
of looks like
lost driving south and he crosses the border by accident and gets into the cartel. No, that's the sequel I would watch.
Casa de mi Padre.
no, no, it just looks like someone that works at a kitchen, just like a 50-year-old Mexican woman. But I'm surprised that, well, I'm not surprised that a topic like that will get so many nominations. I guess it kind of makes sense.
Is
But
the musical original or is it like a Joker 2 jukebox musical?
the song that won was original, so
Okay.
not sure. Not sure if I'm gonna be watching that.
We're coming back next week to review Amelia Perez.
Did you guys see Conclave yet?
I saw Conclave.
Yeah, what do you think?
I thought, what a big piece of shit that I've seen enough trans movies this year. That's what I say about Conclave.
Yeah. Hey, Catholics bad. Unless you're brown and have a vagina, then you're good. That's what that movie is for 2.5 hours. Save you that time.
I mean, yeah, it was. I thought it was fine. In spite of that ending, which felt very tacked on. I will say it was actually handled better than what I was anticipating. There was a little bit more grace to it, but for the most part, I wasn't a fan of Conclave. I don't think that's anything special. I watched it for free on Peacock.
It feels like an actor's movie, where you just watch and you're like, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, John Lithgow. Oh, look at this magnificent performance. It's like, yeah, it's still shit. Like it's still boring what they're saying. Like it's still nonsense. So yeah, that was my what did I say on the last episode? That was my
Favorite top movie of 2024?
No, no.
Oh.
The Post nominate. No, it's not the Post. What was the newspaper movie that was nominated years ago and won an Oscar and no
Spotlight.
one remembers it? Yeah, that Conclave is my spotlight for the year. It's just like, why is this even nominated? It sucks. But yeah,
Can you imagine if The Post won Best Picture?
I mean,
What a
Spotlight
classic.
did. That's
Yeah.
Spotlight is.
Spotlight's a great movie compared to The Post. That shit was boring.
I'm sure the Post at least looks like a movie, and it's not just mid shots that go on for too long, and then
That might
the-
be
the-
true. I remember enjoying the intrigue of it more than the filmmaking.
Well, the most exciting part of Spotlight was when they show up to a house and they're like, "Tuk, tuk, tuk, tuk." Like, have you molested children? No. Okay. Like that's like the last half hour. Yeah. So no, I have no good memories from that movie. I only saw it once, and that was
Not even Batman.
yeah. Hmm.
I did like that Michael Keaton got back-to-back Best Picture wins, but no, I agree with Hans there. I thought that movie was boring as hell. And I grew up in Boston during that time and went to Catholic school during that time. And no,
So you did
I
not
was
win the
not.
Mass State Lottery in terms of getting molested.
No, I did not. I was kind of insulted, frankly. Picking my friends over me.
Me and Aggie just watched what was that called? The Kieran Culkin movie,
Oh yeah,
A Real
Uh,
Pain. Have you guys
oh
seen
yeah.
that one?
Yeah, I
no.
watched that recently. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. And Kieran Culkin's character is so relatable to a type of guy that exists here in New York. I feel like I've encountered so many of that type of person. And
A manic depressive Jew.
well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
most of Manhattan. But yeah,
Yeah, good
I
movie. He just
saw.
won the Golden Globe, and I thought he was very good.
Did you guys see A Different Man
Not
mm-mm.
yet, but that just
with
won as well
yeah,
for the lead
Sebastian?
actor, right?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan one. That it's funny because I feel like he had a really good year with The Apprentice in this, where both of his performances were playing someone that we know. With this one, I honestly thought that it was just going to be a movie about people pretending that the guy that has like a weird face was normal, but it's not. So so for the first half hour, you're introduced to this character and how he acts, and then once something happens, I don't want to spoil it. Then it's his name, what's his name? Fucking Sebastian Stan playing that guy. But his performance is so good that you really believe that he's just the same guy. So I think he, even though I don't know much about his career before this year, I think he's probably very whatever. One of those guys who's just like, oh, okay, cool, another Hollywood white guy, fine. But after these two performances, I'm kind of paying attention to what he does next now because he was really good.
You should check out The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think you would really enjoy that quality show.
Yeah. I forgot that he was in that. Yeah, he was Winter Soldier, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Method in that
He's
one.
moving
Yeah.
on, hopefully.
Well, no, because the Thunderbolts trailer was in front of some movie I saw
Oh,
recently,
is
and
he
he
in
was in
that?
that. Yeah,
Oh, well, hey,
Mm,
you got to butter your bread on both sides.
what is it? No one's ever really gone. Look at
that's
look
clearly
at
been
Robert
proven
Downey.
true.
Yeah, Robert Downey
Chris
Jr.
Evans
is
is
back.
coming back too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because
Wow.
he's done nothing. He has nothing to offer anybody.
Well, I think Hawkeye will come back if he had legs left. Am I right?
I think they're
They're
doing
gonna
Hawkeye season 2.
what are we gonna
But
him in
maybe
a
they'll just focus
wheelchair?
on the
Like
chick. Yeah, he
yeah.
might just be a wheelchair guy.
Just got CGI legs.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
So how many stars on Letterbox? I don't know if you guys posted your Anora reviews yet because I did
I
not
gave
see
it
them.
I gave it 3 and I said it was half an aura too long. Yeah.
I've got this as one of my top of the year. I got it good, cushy 9 out of 10. I did watch it twice, and on rewatch, it was less funny. I think maybe the comedy only works the first time, or at least for me, because I did not really laugh at all the second viewing. I did enjoy it just as much, but I guess being caught off guard after sitting in my stew of rage watching the opening 40 minutes of the movie, it was such an alleviating moment when these heroes come to put Honora in her place.
For me, it's not in my top 10 of the year. I think it's actually right behind Nosferatu, which I believe our next show is going to be on since Hans just saw that. I thought it was good, not great, and maybe it went on a little too long to echo that sentiment. I enjoyed all the actors. I enjoyed how kind of felt like this John Cassavetes movie Gloria that I would recommend to people if they were fans of this. But it was not my favorite Sean Baker. Still very good, still enjoyable, but yeah.
I'd probably give it a 3 also, I think. I mean, maybe a 3.5. I think I definitely felt the length. I just remember laying there watching it, and I'm kind of like, damn, I feel like this has been going on for a long time. I wasn't really clocking it, but that's how I can tell if it. I'll go based off of my intuition if it feels like it's been going a little bit too long. But I did page through it again just to make sure I didn't miss anything for my for today. And I think, yeah, the ones that Hans was talking about, some of the sex scenes, and also um, the entrance and the restraining on the couch. They, but I think Monkey made a good point that they had reasons for making them longer, and I also think that the sex scenes being longer, they spawned this great meme that gets posted called "Dad, look, I'm acting," and it's where she's like twerking on the floor, and that's a pretty good meme. An award-winning acting, as a matter of fact. So it's right. Whoever created that meme, figure it out, dude. Um, but
You
yeah,
think that the
it's
actress's dad enjoyed the movie?
Oh, does she, does she
probably. I
have
mean,
one?
I don't think he's gonna watch it, dude.
I think a little too much nudity. Even besides that particular dancing scene where they're back at Vanya's penthouse or whatever, and she's doing all that. I think there's just a little too much exposure. He's probably not going to want to see this one.
What, you don't think her dad is gonna want to see her going like, well, we have half an hour left. I can suck your dick again if you want.
Well, harkening back to another movie that we were talking about, this 100 Minute a Day documentary. I'm pretty sure her parents are there, like cheering, like outside the room or something. So I guess
Oh,
truth is stranger than fiction. So, I mean, hey, maybe I don't think I want to think about it. I'll just say that much. But it's a good story. I like that it is grounded. I mean, I kind of had it clocked. I felt like right off the bat, like this guy. He's got to be wishy-washy just off the basis that he's a younger guy in one of these clubs. He's foreign, he's Russian, he's got ties. Maybe that I don't know if that was revealed immediately, but I think I might have caught that off the synopsis as I was going to watch it. But anyway, I kind of had it clocked that there had to be something that was not going to settle quite right, and I felt pretty vindicated about how it turned out. I did feel like the behavior of the fixers was a lot kinder than it could have been, and I thought that that played to a better reading of the film as I was watching it. Like it kind of all just came together very nicely at the end, even if it did feel a little bit long, and maybe. It didn't knock my socks off, but I thought that it was a fine picture, maybe 3 to 3.5. And I would say I would probably give it a recommendation to watch. Yeah, I would give it a thumbs up versus like a neutral or a thumbs down. So that's my thoughts on it. Perfectly fine picture.
but maybe not best picture material according to the Golden Globes.
It just didn't wow me like, let's say, for instance, maybe Megalopolis had a little more just something to it. It was maybe I needed something a little more fantastical to
More
really.
boners in Megalopolis.
More bonus in Nosferatu.
No, he was soft. He was just really big.
Oh, well,
Oh,
my bad.
Lores thought that was big. Oh my God.
Sorry, I don't mean to insult Nosferatu's penis.
Eggy and I did see Nosferatu yesterday, day before.
Saturday, yeah.
I was not impressed. I almost fell asleep. But hopefully you cinephiles enjoyed it in ways that I could not.
I kind of have a similar opinion of Robert Eggers that I have of Sean Baker, which is like, I think what I said before, good, not great. And that might carry over with Nosferatu as we're going to do that review soon.
Well, Eggy, maybe you should join them because I don't think we're going to review it.
Yeah, I might. I mean,
I'll just invite him onto your show for you.
I thought that it was. I enjoyed Nosferatu. I thought that it was very loyal to the period, which I enjoyed. I don't. Now the thing about it though is there's a guy who I follow, McDonald or something on Instagram. I don't know. I think he might only post on his private story. I don't know if he posts publicly, but I guess he's a real Nosferatu head, and he said that note that this one was punching way below par of previous iterations. So if I were to, I would probably watch at least one previous Nosferatu film and see if there's any grand differences that I can discern. But I thought that the way that the film was acted, I mean, listen, my man, Mr. Defoe, he ain't my foe. He really the pro when it comes to, knocking those
Willem
roles
Dafoe.
dead. So, but, not to get too much into an episode that doesn't exist yet. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind being a part. If there's an open chair, Just
And we are
Absolutely.
planning on doing a Megalopolis episode pretty late. So if you guys want to join us for that, because Aggie loves it and I don't love it, so we'll be
I
interested.
would be game for that. I've done like 100 episodes of Megalopolis at this point, but what's one more? Let's do it.
Yeah, I still
Hans,
haven't
you
seen
haven't
it,
seen
but
it, right?
no, no, I'll see it. I guess I just don't have a reason to, since we already had an episode for it, and I'm just kind of like whatever. But I'll see it. It's on YTS now, so yeah.
Hmm.
I noticed my fan base did not give a single fuck about Fred 2. So I think Fred 3 might be put on hold. Should we
Uh-oh.
plan what YouTuber movie we want to do next? Because I have a recommendation.
What is it?
The early film of Red Letter Media, Feeding Frenzy, where they have little puppets that are killing people.
Let's do it.
Is that
No,
easy to
we
get?
don't even
Is
have to
it-
do a vote. Nobody else has one.
Is it easy to find? Well, I don't know any YouTuber movies.
It's
so
got to be on all the pirate
Wh- wh-
websites, I assume.
what's it called?
Feeding Frenzy is probably from like 2011, maybe. And I have a copy I could just send you if you can't find it.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll
Yeah,
start
I'm
putting
done.
that shit to YouTube.
I don't want to pay for another YouTuber movie like I did with Rap.
I don't think they're selling it anymore, to
Mm.
be honest. It's really old.
Oh, this might be another thing then. How much? Yeah, no, that's not. Wait, no, no, it is. They're selling it under Vimeo.
Oh.
Rent for $3, buy for $7.
Oh,
It says
Mr.
the
Plinkett
tongue-
is a character in the movie, so maybe that's why they can still sell it.
It says a tongue-in-cheek homage to the rubber puppet monster movies from the '80s, such as Critters, Ghoulies, and every other low-budget film that ripped off Gremlins. So that just tells me that they put very little effort into the movie. That's kind of what that sounds like to me. But yeah, let's do it.
All right, Eggy, give us a new idea.
A new idea.
That's
Hmm.
right.
What's the idea? No. So our new idea
Should
is
we review the Three Stooges?
I was when we were watching, what was it Grips, Grunts, and Groans? It's a Three Stooges piece about a pro wrestler who is a drinking problem, and they bet like their whole lives on him, and he's blacked out drunk. You know, when I was watching him drag his lifeless body around, I did think of Anora when they pull Vanya out of the dance with the arch nemesis enemy stripper to take him down to the courthouse, and he's all slonked out, and they're like, "Hey, you like agree to this, don't you?" And he's like, "Oh." It's basically when they're trying to get the guy. Hey, you're gonna fight now, ain't you? You gotta win us some money. We're all about to be out of here. See, they're gonna take us down. They're
Yeah,
gonna
should they
cruise us through
remake
the cookie,
Anora and the
see?
Fixers or just the Three Stooges?
The Three Stooges go to a 2024 strip club in New York City. Like,
What's the idea? See?
Oh, from the remake though, you can get Will Sasso. I'm sure he's gettable, right? What
Oh,
did I see
he's
him
doing
pop
nothing
in?
else.
Skinny now,
No,
isn't he?
he popped in on something that I saw this
Not Georgie
Canadian
and Mandy,
movie.
right?
Oh yeah, he's doing a southern
Oh, that's him?
accent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Will Sasso. Yeah.
Oh.
I saw him in the movie called Diener '89, which is I think the guys from Fubar made another movie about an '80s rocker guy, and he plays his regular Canadian dad. So that's what he's doing. That's what Will Sass is doing. I'm sure he's gettable.
Mm.
If you want to, yeah.
He's got that Young Sheldon sequel money. We might not be able to afford him for our fantasy Anora film.
Oh, was he? What was he? The dad in that? Was he? I still
Yeah,
haven't seen
he's
Mandy's dad.
He's Mandy's dad. Yeah.
Who's Mandy? I don't like that you
Mandy
think. I don't like.
Patinkin of Criminal Minds.
So
I don't
the
like that you
plot of
think-
Young Sheldon is that underage Georgie lies about his age and knocks up a 29-year-old, and then they have to get married, even though there's like a 12-year age difference because of they have a baby. And now the plot of this show is they live in Mandy's house with their parents, and they have their baby, and that's it.
That's
What?
crazy. I didn't know
Are
he
you
was
serious?
underage. That's
It's
that's very
very-
Ted Nugent.
Yes, it's very much
What?
like a
where
statutory
sh-
rape in this TV show. Yes.
Is that why Sheldon is autistic? Because his dad was 14?
Now this is Sheldon's brother, but you might be onto something.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Sheldon had an older brother. I need to.
All
sharpen
I'm
up on
saying,
my
when you look
Big
at the
Bang Theory.
science, people with autism, they have a high naivety, and it is, an hereditary condition. So maybe Georgie, I mean, he seems like he's got a touch of it to me. Mandy, lock her up and throw away the key as far as I'm concerned. She's taking advantage of children, makes me sick.
I think he took advantage of her in the story, but when you're lying about your age, there's only so much the other person can do, right?
I mean, you're like from the same town or whatever. I mean, you're gonna have an idea. I'm pretty sure that she was, it needs to be looked into. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Will Sasso, you got to drop the hammer. Let's go.
Now, this Georgie, does he interact with any clowns that maybe molest him, or is he just like
Oh
another,
my
just a
God.
regular Georgie?
No,
But we
actually, Emily
watched Young
Osment's very
Sheldon.
light on the makeup, so she's all natural.
There's no Stephen King slash Chuck Lorre extended universe. Yeah.
Wow.
Looking those title cards a little bit closer. I don't know. There's a lot of text there. It's hard for me to read when they come on.
Well, Rez, what do you think? Is that another episode of movies in the books?
I think so. I mean, unless anybody else has anything to add about Anora, I think it's a pretty decent film for 2024. I mean, before we do end the show, what did you guys make of 2024 just as a year for movies? Because I've seen a lot of people saying, well, this is a pretty underwhelming year for film. I
I've
don't
been saying it's
necessarily
a
feel
dog
that
shit
way.
year.
I think it's been
Yeah,
a
let's
fun
debate
year
it.
for
I'm ready.
movies. Okay. What do you think is indicative of it being a dog shit year?
I just think compared to other years, it was much easier to have a top 10 of movies that I was very passionate about. And this move or this year, there were so many big projects coming out that I was hyped for, and then they all fell flat. Joker 2, Megalopolis, no offense, Aggie. Just a lot of these big movies from big directors, big sequels, and they were all kind of dog shit and everything in between. I liked Flow, but it's just like a cheap cartoon movie. I liked Anora. I mean, it's just what we've been saying. So tell me why it's a great year for film, Lores, other than Mass State Lottery for an exclusive few.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's a great year for film. I think it's an interesting and fun year for movies. And I hear what you're saying because there are a lot of movies that were big coming out of the gate for 2023 where you're looking forward to these films like Megalopolis or Horizon or whatever, and maybe they don't measure up to whatever the anticipation is, and maybe they're actually kind of goofy. But I thought Megalopolis was fun. And in retrospect, I also feel that way about Horizon, in spite of it being 3 hours long. You have movies like I Saw the TV Glow or The Apprentice that are just doing something different and a step away from what you would come to expect from other years. So I think there's a lot of movies with character that have come out this year compared to the past couple of years. A lot of great movies, maybe not, but I don't think it was a failure for a year. And maybe many of these films are going to have a second life in the years to come where upon revisiting you go, well, maybe that wasn't so bad. Or maybe, yeah, this was kind of ridiculous here. And I was a little harsh on that. Or maybe that's an interesting creative choice. I think there's a lot of movies like that from this year that upon reflection will shine maybe a little brighter than they did in theaters.
We call that the whole lot of red effect on, in certain circles. Basically, maybe there might have been a start to a certain style, or there might have been something that, yeah, wasn't really landing for us now, but we just need some time to digest. And there's a lot of times I feel like that's cope, like you didn't get it, you have to wait. But I think that it does have a basis in reality also. And I think so. I think there's probably just the only movie I could truly say that was just completely irredeemable this year for me was Here. That's why I had to log in just to make sure.
Yes.
I
That
live
movie's
just
as
out of
bad,
pure.
as people have been making it out to be. I was going to watch that.
You should watch it, but me and Aggie had a horrendous time.
That was probably, I mean, like,
Horrendous.
if you want me to get to Letterbox, I think I went there and like reset my password, couldn't remember everything just to get in there, just to let everybody know just how absolutely terrible that movie was. I felt insulted to have even watched it. So everything has a chance, everything has a little, you can come back and revisit it and everything and let it sit and stew and contemplate it, a rewatch, pick up on a couple things. The movie Here is not that movie. It is bad now. It is a plague and a curse. But everything else is all right.
The worst movie I've seen this year might be one that I watched recently. It's called Me and My Victim, and it's about a dime square guy who raped his girlfriend, and then they collaborated on a documentary together to talk about how he raped her. And they're both the worst fucking like if you think the people in Anora, the characters in Anora are bad, how about these real people in Me and My Victim, Billy Pedlo and Moraine, 2024? Terrible, terrible documentary, terrible. Both of them horrible people. Just a bad experience.
I think the worst movie that I saw this year was The Critical Drinkers Rogue Elements. That
Is that a
was
movie?
No, we got to cover that proper, all
I think
four of
we
Yeah, we
us.
were
should.
gonna do that along with
I,
Kino's short film.
I think we
Should we
should
do that
because
before
Yes.
Feeding Frenzy?
I kind of want to like I think I talked about that movie a little bit in one of our episodes, but I kind of want to
Oh yeah, the
full
entire second half
fledged.
of the Christmas special on It's a Wonderful Life was basically a critical drinker episode because Hans confused It's a Wonderful Life with A Christmas Carol and showed up ill
The
prepared.
Scrooge story?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not well versed on Christmas movies. But that one, I think that should be the next
Yeah, that makes sense.
before whatever the other one
It
was. Oh,
should be a
before
double
Freedom
feature
Frenzy.
of Critical Drinker and Kino Corner because add them together, it's about an hour of footage.
Right, yeah, two
Yeah.
shorts.
And
I'm
they're
down.
two of my philosophical thought leaders who I look to whenever I'm in a time of need. So I would really appreciate having them together. That's right.
Who, Charles Carroll or Kino Corner?
All right. Well, that's a trio there, but really,
Mm.
Kino Corner's a thought leader. Glink Think, Glink, Kino Corner's old roommate. He's a bit of a thought leader. He's been posting some interesting video essays lately in response to Sam Hyde. So go check
Glink.
out
Uh-oh.
Glink.
What? I don't know anything about this. I'll look into this, I guess. Well,
Glink? Is he like a leprechaun? Like what is his name that? Is he like a little
I think he's
Glink?
Armenian or something.
Oh, gross.
just like the bodyguards or the one bodyguard, right? He was Armenian in
that's
Anora.
right.
Oh, right.
Well, I did remember a while back that Kino Corner's buddy produced The Brutalist. And I remember hearing about this at length. His buddy he was very proud of his buddy who produced The
Mhm.
Brutalist
Are you
months
about to
ago when he
reveal
saw
that
it.
by Buddy, he really means like they replied to him one time on Twitter, or is this actually his friend?
You know the
According
answer to that. I
Oh
don't I don't have to
God.
answer that. We all know that.
This is like when he said him and Dasha are friends.
Hmm I would have to
Fucking
assume.
idiots.
I mean, it's his buddy though. I wouldn't call someone my buddy if they weren't my buddy. But maybe I don't know. Kino's a interesting guy.
He's got a lot of buddies.
He's got a lot of buddies in showbiz.
Hey, I seen that man grind it up because I was talking about, speaking of grinding it up, that first time I met him, which was also around that same time I went for that nice dance and I got my Anora, knowledge locked in ahead of time. He had like 100 YouTube subscribers back then, and I remember we were hanging out. He had a whole game plan about, he was going to go hit this convention, hit that convention, boom, tell people, about his dreams. And what is he at, like 200,000 right now? So, that's he really got it up out the mud.
Yeah, I don't know if
Hashtag,
going to conventions and telling people to look at your YouTube channel necessarily got him the subs, but keep on grinding, brother.
that's right.
Do you want to go to conventions, Lores, and let people know that they can watch her show? Because I don't. Because that sounds horrible. That sounds
You
like
don't want
it
to
smells.
network with YouTubers and have your phone contacts full of fucking YouTubers? Best people on the planet to network and be friends with?
Well, I wouldn't do that because I live in Costa Rica, fortunately, so they can't write to
You're
me,
safe
so I'm
down
good.
there.
I
Mm.
have that excuse, right? Even
You'd
though
have to
they
give a
totally
PO
can.
box.
Yeah, or I mean, they could totally if they have an iPhone, but I don't have to tell them that. Just like
So is this our
Lores, it was.
Valentine's Day special? Double date, Kino Corner short film, Critical Drinker
Oh,
short film. We're gonna put them in their place on February 14th.
yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And by then you'll hear our review of your movie, and then maybe you won't want to do another episode. Maybe it's
Yeah,
another
that's when I
Kino
quit.
Corner situation all over again.
We'll see.
Oh, you're gonna lose another friend, Jimmy?
We were
I don't know if
gaslighting
any
this
of you
whole
guys are my
time.
friend. You guys are my buddies.
Oh, right. You're gonna listen to Buddy.
You're gonna see our 18-hour EFAP Mass State Lottery drop, and you don't even know what's coming. Oh my goodness.
A life-changing podcast dropping in the past. Should we do some plugs and get out of here then? Eggy, what you got going on Rumble?
Rumble.com/C/Eggy White now verified. So we might even be actually just put up in the algorithm on the front page tonight when we go live. Looking back, 4 years ago today, something happened, and if you don't know what it is, you probably have to go to my page and find out. But looking back, four
Wait, you're doing a
years.
Jan 6 episode tonight? I gotta tune into that for sure.
Well, absolutely, yes, we are. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Hans, what are you doing to celebrate the anniversary of January 6th, 2021?
Oh, I'm just gonna go dress like a retard with horns and beat up an old
Hey,
lady.
you're halfway there. Just get the horns.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of mean. It's not
Hey,
very
you're my
nice.
buddy. It's okay. I can say anything to my
Oh,
buddy, right, Hans?
That's right. Yeah, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
My
Sorry.
buddy Hans just started a movie called Mass State Lottery. Lorez, what you got going on?
Well, we want people to head on over to patreon.com/lowres and start sponsoring some episodes for the new year. So we have new movies to watch. We are going to be doing Black Christmas to kick off our 2025 listener sponsored series. And then it's an empty slate after that. So hop in while you still can, and we can prioritize you.
And now that we're at the very end and nobody's listening, Lorez, we do need to talk about what happened with Kenny and Kino Corner. Because, I'm behind the scenes. I know what's actually going down. And when I'm listening to B-Bang or movies and I hear Lorez giving half the truth, I feel like I need to establish what really happened here.
Now, what do you want to speak about specifically? Because this is a very complex, layered situation between Kenny, Kino, myself, yourself, and a mystery man.
Right. As you reported on your show, I messaged you on Twitter with, maybe some people with autism might not interpret it as a joke, but I say I may have some information, some proof that Kino Corner is pretending to be Kenny and posting big black cock images in your Discord. But the way I presented it, I thought it was a pretty clear joke. But just to be clear, 2 minutes later, I followed up clarifying that I was joking. And somehow in those 2 minutes, you contacted Kenny and said, I know it's Kino for sure now. It was just confirmed. And when you reported it on the podcast, you did not say that I said it was a joke within 2 minutes.
Well, hold on.
Ran with it.
The order of events is a little bit different here. Okay, we did the podcast first, and then I was talking to Kenny afterward, and then the episode went up, and I believe you sent me the message. Whatever it was
After listening to it, I sent you. Yeah.
Yes. And now I'll be honest, I knew there was no way that had to be Kino. But I don't know. I don't know for certain. And this is the one lead I got. So I said to Kenny, I was like, listen, Simeon Jimmy, he's a reliable guy. Friends with Kino. He sent this to me, and he proceeded to go off. And this witch hunt, it didn't start.
Consequence yet? Does he know it is not Kino yet? Have you confirmed that to him?
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for the right time to let him know.
2 weeks.
It's probably here's the situation too. I was supposed to meet with Kenny when I was in Massachusetts, and it was going to be a group of us. I ordered him a sandwich and everything. He's like, yeah, I'm on the train. We sent someone to go pick him up, and he just disappeared. It never materialized. So he can keep thinking it's Kino and get blocked by Kino for all I care. That was the most suspicious thing, frankly, is Kino Corner, upon receiving a message from Kenny, didn't respond, just blocked him. Kenny said, hey, I got some questions I got to ask you.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
is
he
that
blocked him.
surprising? That was the funniest thing to me, just picturing Kino opening that message from a random black guy being like, hey, yo, we need to talk. I got some questions for you.
He gets scared and starts sweating and hits the block button.
Of course. Yeah, he reported him and blocked him immediately.
Is he just checking his unread, unsolicited inbox all the time? Because you kind of got to go out of your way to even see those messages.
You do. Yeah, I thought for sure that was going to get filtered into message requests and he would just never see it. But Kenny showed me a screen cap of what he had sent. And then, Kino blocked him on X over it.
So basically, I made a joke, and now Kenny knows for a fact that Kino Corner is impersonating him. Is that where we're at right now in the story?
He was making reference. He kind of referenced Luigi shortly thereafter.
Oh,
he's
gonna like, kill Kino.
And I was like, listen, why don't we just kind of, see how things play out naturally? And then he went on Discord and said he was waiting to go demon mode and did the purple demon emoji several times. So
go
he was just
me.
waiting for the word.
Ticket for Kenny to go to Austin, Texas. Let's make it happen, people. How much could it cost? $80?
I think getting him to be able to show up to the bus would be the actual hard part of that. I tried to get him to New York several times, like paid and everything. Nah, it's just too difficult to get to the bus. So he lives in a world of his own. He's going to make his own decisions, and whatever happens to Kino happens to Kino.
That's what he gets for blocking Kenny immediately.
Yeah, I think that's the only right response, right, Hans? I mean, you've met Kenny. You know what he's capable of.
Yeah, he'll just show up and be like, "Yo, how'd you get that picture of my dick? Are you in contact with my baby mom?" I think he mentioned something like that, right? That he's like, "I don't know if he's in contact with my baby mama. How did he get that picture of my dick?" And he's like, "Is it? It's not your penis, Kenny."
I
So
don't
that would
usually
be
talk like this, but the dehumanizing, disrespectful language Kenny uses for the mother of his child is so hilarious on your show. It's so fucking funny. Like he has no filter at all.
I
Well,
think after everything that she's put him through, I think it's not unfair for him to say that she looks like the penguin.
Golden Globe winner.
yes.
No, not even that
No,
one. I
not
think
even
Yeah,
that
the
one. The
Danny
Danny
DeVito
DeVito one. Yeah. You know?
All I'm saying is, we should not look down on a brother for speaking his mind, but we should be asking her, why do you have to look so penguinish? I mean, it's really, I mean, there's choices to be made on both sides. I'm just saying.
Is that all
Oh.
we got? Are
Yeah,
we
for
free?
now, yeah. I don't think there's going to be any follow up for a little while. Maybe we'll get some details that require another episode of B Bang to settle the mystery. But for now, it's been quiet, so I think we can
I
probably wrap
I
up
was
there.
gonna ask if I could be on an episode with Kenny, but I don't know if that's even a good idea. I don't know if I could handle him because I know he's not gonna like me, and I'd rather just kind of watch and admire from the shadows at this point.
Well, Kenny gets along with everybody. It's really a matter of whether or not you can tolerate Kenny. Now,
Oh, I'm a
Hans has
big
reached his
fan.
cap, which is why he sits out of many Kenny episodes.
Oh my god, is that
I
true,
think I
Hans? What's the deal?
I think he got me to tell him to shut up multiple times on one episode that I can remember, which was when he was saying that the WNBA every man should be watching women play basketball, and then he started telling me that. Well, you just hate women, so you just don't want to. And I was just like, that's never anything I said. Like everything I was saying, he would just keep saying his thing, and I was like, I never said that. What the fuck?
By the
So,
way, yes, this is the episode we did on Beautiful Boy for movies. If anybody wants to go into the
yeah,
archive and listen, so check that out.
yeah.
Kenny picked that episode. Well, I don't know why he picked that movie, but he picked the Steve Carell, Timothy Chalamet movie,
Mm.
Beautiful Boy.
I don't even. Did I see that? I don't even remember watching.
Yeah, you did. I think you did.
Uh,
So, yeah.
I just remember being like, "Shut up, Kenny. Let me speak. You're not letting me defend myself. Just putting shit." And it was because of that. So, I don't hate Kenny. I just think that his podcasting etiquette could have a little bit of improvement to make everything run a little smoother. But
Nah, he's
uh,
real. We need the
yeah,
real man to make because otherwise it's too overly produced of a program. Like he grounds it so much that it's almost underground,
I
which
think you would
eBang
have.
kind of is.
I think you would have to up your energy a little bit if you want to be in a podcast with him. Like you
I have
can't
to
be
have three
as
coffees instead of one.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
fucked.
to keep up with him.
Yes, you got to be ready to shout at times to keep your volume elevated because he's coming in, and this is how he podcasts. He'll pick up his phone and just do, and then that'll be what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
You
call
know.
in from my phone as well.
It's always great when we get him on video too, because you can just see like his eyes sometimes, or a lot of darkness, a lot of ceiling. Yeah, I think we'll see as far as a crossover with Kenny goes.
Or you see that he started eating fried chicken as soon as we started recording. We could have done it before or after,
E
but
Rich
no,
would
he's
call
just
it
like,
racist.
Do you know
I
how
mean,
many times early on when we would podcast with him that I had to edit out the chirp? I lost hours of my life doing that for so
Should have left
long.
it in. It's real.
It's too real. Uh, all right, but
Should we
yeah,
hit these people with a recording stopped?
we certainly can.